If you're an intermediate guitarist struggling to get around the changes of a 12-bar blues, or you're just another guitarist looking for some fun licks, you want to get inside the blues language, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you 10 different blues licks in 10 minutes. I'm positive there's going to be something that you want to get your fingers under. There's a whole range of different licks around different parts of the 12-bar blues. Grab your guitar and let's get into it. If you want to dig a little bit deeper with the licks, I do have the tab as well as the backing track that I'm playing to, plus isolated videos with the tab underneath of me playing it, so you can learn it really, really easily. All that's available on my Patreon page. There's a link in the description if you want to come and join us. We're going to be playing over a 12-bar blues in the key of A today. Let's jump into lick 1. Now this is a classic sounding lick. As I said before, we're in the key of A. This is our A note, 7th fret on the D string. We're then gonna go up to minor third and hammer on one semitone higher to the major third. Then go up the major pentatonic scale. And then go into the A note on the 10th fret B. That sounds like this. And then we're gonna hit the minor third on the 8th fret E. Give it a little bit of attitude to blur the line between minor third and major third. That's the blues. And then we're going to go down to the 10th fret, 8th fret, and then the 9th fret. This is the whole lick. Pretty cool, right? That's mixing major and minor pentatonic. That's classic. Let's move on. Lick 2. This next lick is pretty classic sounding. I guess it's sort of Albert King-esque. We're bending from the 10th fret E, which is our perfect 4th of A, into the perfect 5th, so a full tone. Then we're gonna go down to the minor third and bend a full tone, which is reaching the note that we bent from. Right? It doesn't matter what fingers you use, whatever you feel like is comfortable for you. And then we're gonna hit that minor third on its own, go to the root note, 10th fret B, the 9th fret G, the minor third, which is 8th fret E, and then land on our target note, which is A. That last part sounds like this. I give that 8th fret a little bit of attitude too. Sounds cool, right? This is the lick. Pretty cool, right? Now I do talk in terms of intervals because you got to understand the language of the blues. That's why we learn these licks. It's not really to repeat and copy and paste, you know, someone's solo or someone's lick after lick. It's just to gain a deeper understanding in the language of the blues, really. Let's move on to the next lick. Now this one's over the 4 chord. I'm giving you a little bit of variation here. You can also use it over the 1 chord. It sounds cool, but I'm starting on the root note of A, hitting that twice. I'm going to the minor third of A. Then I'm gonna reach up to the perfect 4th, then hit the 5th, and then I'm gonna go in the middle of those 2 notes to the blues note, play it, and then pull off 1 fret lower. So far it's this. Right, and then I'm going to the 13th fret of the B string, which is our minor third. Then I'm going to the 11th fret G, which is our major 6th of A, and then to the root note. This is mixing the major and minor pentatonic. With that blues note in the middle there, right? Let's move on. All right, this lick is based around 5th position of the minor pentatonic scale. It's fun to explore this one. If you've seen any of my other videos, I do a big breakdown of the most hated position. It's pretty cool, actually. So we're gonna start on the root note, and then we're gonna bend up from 17th fret. This is that 5th position, and we're gonna go a tone and a half. Now, you can do it from the E note here, but I think it's cool to go, right? I think it's cool to slide all the way up. So we're going from the root note. You can slide into that 7th fret and then do a tone and a half bend. Come back down to the 17th fret and do a chromatic line. That's going through the blues note in the perfect 4th. Going to the minor third next, the flat 7, and then the root note. Heaps of fun, check it out. Now, if you don't want to do that slide, you can just play the root note once if you want, and then jump up. It's just kind of cool because then you can add on like a root note on the top. I love doing that, check it out. I think that sounds really sweet, and you're already in that area to get a little bit more range out of the fretboard. All right, this one's going over the 5 chord. You can also do it over the 1 chord or even the 4 chord. It sounds cool. It's really just a blues scale with a major 6. That's how I think of it. So we're going from the 16th fret of the B string. That's our blues note in the key of A, sliding into that perfect 5th of A. And then we're going to hit the flat 7 of A. This sounds really cool over the 5 chord, as you heard in that demo. We'll do that 3 times, and then we're going to go down to the 5th, which is the 17th fret of the B string. I hope you guys are keeping up. And we'll go chromatic down, right? And then the minor 3rd, the major 6th of A, and then the root note of A. And that kind of highlights the 4 chord if you wanted to play it over the turnaround of the blues, right? So we've got this. Right, I'm hoping that makes sense. And then you can play whatever you want in minor pentatonic land, you know, to resolve it to the A. That's a really nice way to play through a turnaround in the 12-bar blues. Let's jump into the next lick. This one's really actually quite easy. We're at this position of the, I guess, minor pentatonic scale. I just imagine an A minor chord. I think that's cool. So we're going to play this double stop here. You can slide into it if you want. That's just minor 3rd and 5th, right? Then we're going to go up 2 frets, which is the perfect 4th and the 6th. Then we're going to go up 1 more fret, and that's the flat 5, the blues note, and the flat 7. So all really interesting intervals here. And you can mess around with the rhythm. You know, you can play it through a whole chorus of the blues if you want. I've just played it like this. And then that's just root note, 5th, root note, and then root note on top. Right? It can be really, really cool. Sort of BB King at the end there with that high root note. Okay, this next one is one of my favorites. Check it out. All right, so this one's super fun. We're going to be doing some hammer-ons, double stops, and some raking. There's a lot involved here. This really highlights the 1 chord. It sounds cool. So the first thing we're going to be doing is grabbing the 8th fret, barring that with the B and the E string. That's the flat 7 and minor 3rd of A, sort of position 2 kind of thing. And then we're going to hammer on to the root note, right? So we get that little double stop idea. And then what I like to do is I like to do 3 upstrokes down a C major triad, right? And that's just 8th fret B, 9th fret G, 10th fret D. C major triad spells out kind of like an A minor 7 chord. Well, not kind of, it does, right? And then we're gonna hit 7 and 7 of G and B. This is kind of like, you know, like sort of majory blues territory. And then we're gonna hammer on the flat 5 and then pull off. And then there's 2 options that you can do here. Well, there's heaps of options that you can do, but I like to do a major 3rd interval from C. So I'm sort of spelling out an A minor chord, and then I go down 3 frets and land on the major 3rd of A and the root note. It's a really interesting sound because we're going from A minor sound to A major. Sort of messes with the ear. So the full lick is this. Right? If you don't want to do that interval there, you could just play the minor 3rd there and it can sound cool. And end on the root note if you want. I mean, there's heaps and heaps of variations. Play around with it and have fun with it. Let's move on to the next lick. Alright, this one's obviously lifted from Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's fun to play around with this kind of stuff and really work your way up the fretboard. I'm just going to yell out the intervals that I'm playing on the G and B string. That's it. That's major 3rd and 5th. Then we go up to the perfect 5th and the flat 7. It's all the same shape, right? So I'm from the 9th fret and then I'm going to the 8th fret, right? So it's our first 2 groups. And then I'm going to go up 2 more frets and go to the 11th fret and the 10th fret, which is the major 6 and the root note. This is a good way to map out the fretboard. And then we're going to go to what I would consider sort of a bit of a home base, because our A note is in the lower note there, and then our minor 3rd is there. And then you could even go up 2 more frets. And then you could even go up 2 more frets if you wanted to, and resolve it to the A. be really cool to mess around with that. You don't have to go all the way up. You could even just do the first two. You know what I mean? Really mess around with it. Speaking of Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is a classic kind of lick that Stevie would play over the 5 chord. Really, really nice idea. Let's check it out. We're going to go from the 7th fret of the G string, do a full tone bend. Go to the 5th fret B and 5th fret E separately. Right, everyone knows that vibe. Right, and then we're going to go to the flat 7, which is the 8th fret of the B string, do a full tone bend. Then up to the root note. Then to the major second. This is major pentatonic territory, right? So far we've been minor. And then we're going to go to the major second. Then we're going to go to the flat second. This is adding a little bit of tension, which sounds cool. I don't want to get too far into the theory of it, but it's also the E minor blues scale. That's why it works really well over the 5 chord. We're going to go to that flat 2 of A, right? And then we're going to go down to the root note of A, then the flat 7 of A, and then the perfect 4th of A, and then the 5th of A. That's the 8th fret B, 7th fret G, and 5th fret B, right? So that whole lick. Simple but really effective over the 5 chord, right? Works really, really well. All right, let's check out the next lick. This works really well over the 1 chord or the 4 chord, whichever you feel like playing it over. Let's jump into it. This is a nice little idea where we've got the A note on top, and then I've got the flat 5 going into the perfect 4th from above, right? That's classic. Then we're going to go down the minor 3rd, then the root note, flat and 7th, and then check this out, we're going to go to the flat 5, but pull off to the perfect 4th, right? So that's, and then we're going to go to the minor 3rd, root note, and then root note above. That's really sort of a stylistic thing in the blues to do, you know, the root note above at the end, right? So this lick sounds like this. Really nice, hey? What's awesome is blending it with the previous lick, so the 1 over the 5 chord, and then playing through the turnaround that way. Check it out. Now notice I'm anticipating that A when the A chord happens at the end of the turnaround. Sounds really, really cool. So heaps of fun stuff there that you can play around with, make it your own, get a real understanding of the blues language. Those licks that mix the major and the minor pentatonic are really, really key to getting that kind of sound in your head and under your fingers. Tabs and backing track all available on my Patreon page. Come and join us if you want to dig a little bit deeper. There'll also be some isolated videos with the tab underneath so you can play along, slow it down, do all those things that you need to do to get it under your fingers. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you on the next one.